purpose of this video is to briefly examine the use of theory in the work we do each day. Although the word theory sounds like a very scientific term, and it is, the role of theory in each of our organizations and in the work we do should not be forgotten. Our two objectives today are to understand how scientific theory is used in HR and OD, and to understand how theories are categorized and described. First, let's think about how theories are defined. If I were to ask you what a theory is, you might say a hunch, a guess, or maybe an idea. Those would all be correct, but the way we use theory in academics is a bit bigger in scope. The dictionary defines theory as a supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something, a set of principles on which the practice of an activity is based, and an idea used to account for a situation or justify a course of action. Of these three, the definition that seems to fit best for our purposes is the first one. That's because when we talk about theory in research and in organizations, we're typically trying to understand and explain people or processes or decisions. Utilizing theory in the everyday world involves continually asking the questions of how and why. For example, why are people leaving my organization? How does this impact the rest of the employees? How does this impact the organization? Now let's discuss how some theories are organized. First, it's important to note that not all theories do the same thing. Some theories explain very specific behavior or processes. For example, expectancy theory says that our performance at work is a function of the expected outcomes of our efforts. In other words, we might choose to put a lot of effort into a project or task with a high reward, but put in less effort to a task with less reward. But there are other theories that are broader. An example of this might be systems theory. Systems theory looks at organizations as a system of interdependent components and processes. It's basically a big picture view of the organization. One way to think about how theories are organized is by their scope. At the broadest level, we have grand theories. These are theories that try to explain a lot of things at once, and they tend to be less specific. We then have mid-range theories that try to be more specific, such as systems theory, which we discussed previously. Lastly, there are micro-theories which try to explain specific behaviors or processes. But why should we care? Here are a few reasons. Theories help us understand people and situations more thoroughly. They help explain what happened in the past and what might happen in the future. Theories challenge our assumptions about what we know and what we think we know. And lastly, theories can help us become better critical thinkers. Theory can often be seen as exclusively the domain of academia and removed from practice and the world of work. This ivory tower mentality is what compromises our use of theory in the workplace in a meaningful way. Let me try to give you a sense of how theory will be put to use in your work in this class. Theory might be thought of as a framework. Think about the framework for a house. It's necessary for building the rest of the structure, but in and of itself, it's incomplete. So as you continue to develop your problem idea, think about the why and the how behind the problem you've identified. This will help you to think more critically about the problem or the process, but you can't stop there. Identifying the framework will give you a place to start and a scaffolding to build on as you continue to flesh out your idea.